And to the far right, you have Ethan Klein doing sort of the closest screenshot that Noah could get of something that looks like a Nazi salute.
Bro, Noah having Ethan, a Jew, posing as a Nazi salute in his thumbnail is so ridiculously insensitive, it's insane. Just call him a Zionist and now it's not offensive. Think before you sleep. Open your fucking eyes. This is literally ripped from Ethan's own fucking thumbnail. How far is your head up your own ass, bro? That's amazing levels of, like, blindness. Bruh, Jesus Christ, if you're gonna accuse Noah of fucking anti-Semitism, at least have it be something coherent. That's fucking stupid. Is this the state that we're at, man? What? This is really the shit that just flies, bro. Did you see Think Before You Sleep's video on Noah about the genocide vid? I did, and okay. There was one thing that Think Before You Sleep said that I was amazed at how stupid it was. Okay? I'm not gonna walk through the whole fucking video because he makes a very, very overt mistake, in my opinion, in thinking that he can cover this in an apolitical way, which is totally delusional and incorrect. That's not, I don't think, my opinion. That, like, this is a political video, okay? He might acknowledge that, but he seemingly overtly tries to, like, frame it as a both sidesing type thing. No, there's a bias in this video that is evident, okay? And there's a lot in this that I would criticize. I really don't want to fucking litigate it, to be honest, but there's one thing I saw that was so stupid, I was like, what? What, bro? It was something where, let's just watch fucking a minute. One sec.
Past few years, there's a big industry that's exploded in popularity, and it's based on a simple concept. Hassan, bad. Hassan Piker is bad, and he's dumb, and bad and a terrorist, probably. It's also wild because the political content creator in question is an anti-genocide content creator, and the arguments they're attacking him for are anti-genocide arguments. So these creators, you know, they're positioning themselves in opposition to him and his arguments, de facto positioning themselves on the pro-genocide side.
Well, I mean, maybe these people don't like Hassan Piker because he says a lot of dumb things that aren't always related to the Israel-Palestine situation. In fact, most of the criticism towards him over the years has nothing to do with that at all.
Okay, you can say that argument by Noah is dumb, and you can elucidate why you think it's dumb, but Noah's specifically talking about Hassan making anti-genocide arguments, and then people push back on the anti-genocide arguments. So, yeah, I think Before You Sleep is out the gate not engaging with what Noah's actually saying, you know what I mean? But anyway.
According to Noah, anyone who criticizes Hassan now loves it when people die. Okay.
Is that what he's saying? I think he's saying if you criticize him for his anti-genocide arguments, then you are effectively camping yourself with the pro-genocide side, which, again, I think is totally worthy of criticism as a point. Like, you could totally push back on that, but this is not a correct framing, I don't think.
Okay, I'm loving the us versus them mentality. And, well, I think it's time for the yearly Noah Samsen check-in. Last time was pretty crazy with the Illumation stuff, but this time Noah seems to be even more off his meds than usual.
Holy fuck. Okay.
I guess he decided that slandering one of his opponents to try to get his audience to deplatform that opponent wasn't enough.
It's a reference to the Illumation thing. Noah made a video saying that think before you dox, which does send a message that he cites me in this, which is hilarious. But yeah, I did think that the implication was that Think Before You Sleep doxed Illy. Now, when I look deeper into this, there is something dubious in one of Think Before You Sleep's videos, okay? But it is not the video that was struck down, and Noah's claim, like, it wasn't in Noah's video, and so I still think that title shouldn't have been titled that. But yeah.
So now he's slandering a bunch of big YouTubers to try to get his audience to, well, we'll get to that. But first, a little backstory on the whole Hassan Piker, Noah Samsen, and Ethan Klein situation. About 2 months ago, YouTuber Ethan Klein released a content nuke on his former Leftovers podcast co-host, Hassan Piker, who has endorsed things like terrorism, has violated the Twitch rules numerous times, and never gets in trouble for it like any other creator who is not Hassan would. Some people might call that a double standard. In response to
definitely a double standard definitely exists for Hassan on Twitch, and that's largely a power fucking thing. It's also definitely some political leaning within Twitch staff. That's true.
Ethan's video boosted e-girl Noah Samsen, who basically has had his entire career made by Hassan reacting to his videos.
Is that true? I don't know. I feel like Noah's raised his GTA stars without Hassan having to boost him, but I definitely think Hassan has definitely he's funneled his audience toward Noah, for sure.
Decided that he can't have people criticizing his pay pig, because if people point out all the rule breaking that Hassan has done and he gets banned from Twitch, who would boost all of Noah's videos? So after Ethan's content news,
If Hassan gets banned from Twitch, he will go to YouTube. I really hate having to repeat this every fucking time. The entire deplatforming campaign, which Think Before You Sleep is kind of softly basically saying like Hassan should probably get banned. He's not saying that, but it's, you know, he's kind of leaning into that side or whatever. Okay, yes, there's a double standard and all these things, but thing I would say that there is absolutely no world where YouTube would not host Hassan. They already host him. They would be more than happy to absorb one of the biggest political commentators in the English-speaking fucking world. YouTube would accept Hassan. The worst that would happen if a actual deplatforming campaign happened on YouTube, which is possible, apparently, seemingly, but if that happened, what would happen is that YouTube would demonetize Hassan. That is the precedent that they have been setting recently. When somebody makes YouTube a lot of money or is like, you know, has a big audience, instead of deplatforming them, losing those fucking viewers, basically YouTube has been demonetizing them. So they did that with Dr. Disrespect, even though YouTube hosted him with no problems, even though they knew there was tons of smoke for many fucking years. Host him, he gets canceled. They demonetize him. 6 months later, monetization back. Holy shit. Same with Fresh and Fit. They're currently demonetized. I believe with Shane Dawson, when he got canceled fucking 4 years ago, they demonetized him. Like, that's the way that they handle big time creators getting canceled, is just demonetize. YouTube would host Hassan. People who really want him, really advocate for him to get banned on Twitch, which I'm not saying Think Before You Sleep is doing, but he's providing a little bit of lip service toward it. It's so short-sighted because arguably he'll have an even larger fucking potential demographic of like people to watch his stuff. Arguably, he'll be able to say even more crazy things because there are many fucking creators on YouTube who have said crazier things than you can on Twitch and gotten zero pushback for it. I could cite many examples. I'm going to choose not to, but I could. Eat with ease, all right? Just, I don't want to snitch, but anyway.
Nuke. Noah made this video called The YouTubers Who Backed a Genocide. You got Destiny on the left, Turkey Tom in the middle, Mudahar on the right
What did Turkey Tom do, man?
of him. And to the far right, you have Ethan Klein doing sort of the closest screenshot that Noah could get of something that looks like a Nazi salute.
Okay. That is the stupidest fucking thing I've heard in a minute, okay? And when I heard this, I was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? The claim is that Noah Samsen maliciously screenshotted Ethan to make this look like a Nazi salute. And when I heard that, my brain, I was just like, what the? I couldn't take the fucking video seriously because and I acknowledge that's definitely not a sober appraisal. I did watch the video and there's nothing there, okay? There are points he makes where I'm like, yeah, I do not like that Noah said this, etc. But this is very, very weird. Dude, it's literally ripped from the fucking thumbnail that Ethan used himself, dude. Open your fucking eyes. I thought this was a joke at first, but I'm pretty sure it's serious. Like, it's quite, like, it's literally just this, dude. Unedited, you know?
And basically, Noah spends this whole video saying stuff like this.
Okay, so an implication that Noah is racist, basically, because that's a MDE, all right, what's it called? World peace bit, basically, that is like veiled anti-Semitism. Okay.
Wait, that's the wrong clip. This is the correct one.
Israel has a long history of intentionally targeting Palestinian civilians for slaughter. Genocide isn't just a bad thing that's happening where people are dying. No, that's not what it is. It's a Holocaust. The US-Israeli Holocaust. That's what it should be called. Israel is using everything in its power to eradicate Palestinians from the planet. The fact that Israel's actions in Gaza amount to genocide isn't controversial. Not among the experts, at least.
That basically sums up Noah's whole response to Ethan's content nuke on Hassan.
Is that anti-Semitic?
There's a lot of misery porn of Palestinians being hurt.
Bro, referring to it as misery porn fucking kills me, dude. I do not like hearing that shit. That rings real fucking disconnected, bro. But yeah, sorry, there was something at the end that was interesting to me. Because he basically highlights how Noah Samsen's being sued for the content nuke response video that he made. But yeah, so Think Before You Sleep covers how Noah Samsen's getting sued for the content nuke response, the YouTubers Are Back to Genocide video. And ironically, it seems like Think Before You Sleep is kind of a fan of this litigation occurring. I think he claims that Noah committed a crime.
And again, I'm not taking any prisoners. If my attorney thinks there's anything in here, if he thinks that there's like a decent shot of defamation, I'm suing this fucking piece of shit.
And Ethan has every right to sue Noah for this. Maybe now one of these radical leftist influencers will actually suffer legal consequences for committing crimes. This is absolutely slander.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that defamation is a crime. In the US, it's not really a crime. It doesn't seem to generally be considered a crime.
What Hassan does, you guys are going to learn throughout all this, is that these are his attack dogs. He uses them.
I'm a bad boy.
Yo, what's up?
BT Dubs, just curious, what does your shirt say? It's hard to read.
Oh, why thank you for asking. I'll have you know this is brand new Goka merch. It says escaped, okay? The idea, you see, is that it was inspired by the Sneeko video. We have, of course, the beautiful bots, right? Who are in the Sneeko video, the beautiful little bots. And the bots, they have this glass shell, you see, and they have all those things distracting them. They're in their little bubble, right? Their little echo chamber. And so you might notice there's a big furnace that those bots are headed toward, and they basically get like squished and devoured, right? The idea is once they get the rude awakening getting consumed in the flames, they've escaped. They've finally escaped the Matrix, but they had to die to do it. They had to lose themselves. So yes, if you like that lore dump, this is available only at gokamerch.com, and I do rock this t-shirt a lot. I really like it a lot, but yes, it's only available at gokamerch.com. Let me touch base with the chat. It's already very late. I really do not want to watch the entire Think Before You Sleep video. There was just a lot, like it hit me in a weird way, and I know why. It's because he was trying to, and I do think he sincerely believed that he was not like being political, or that he was like being kind of, you know, in between roads, like he was not taking a side, whatever. But dude, you cannot, like, this is, it's just too naive in my head. It's just very hard. In a way, yeah, it reminds me of some of how Ethan fucked up with his content nuke video, where in his primary goal, right, which was in that case to deplatform Hassan, but also to provide a case against Hassan, in his goal to basically diminish Hassan's credibility, which I do think he succeeded on a few dimensions, right? But in his goal, though, when it comes to the like historical realities in certain circumstances, or like his citations, basically when he's talking about these real, very serious events, he gets sloppy. And I think the reason that he gets sloppy is because his primary goal is not to accurately represent the reality of what is happening in these circumstances. His primary goal is not to have an affinity to truth in relation to these fucking dynamics and circumstances. The primary goal is to portray Hassan in the way that he sees Hassan, right? And that gets fucking dangerous when you're, in my head, that gets dangerous when you are dealing with very real, you know, violent fucking events. But anyway, downplays too. Well, yeah, in the case of H3's content nuke, he overtly downplays the Nakba, whether he acknowledges that or doesn't, which I have not seen him acknowledge it. He does downplay the Nakba, whether he realizes it or not. He does fumble the historical narrative and presents a very, very suspect image of it. But yeah, dude, I would be all on board fucking shitting on Hassan, okay? I just don't like normalizing a fucking deplatforming campaign. I don't like that in Ethan's video, he fucking conflates anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism when he talks about a Twitch employee who was very clearly just expressing her support for Palestine and against the way that Israel is treating Palestinians. She is labeled as someone who does not like the Jews. Again, the fucking citation problems. I think Hassan has way too much leverage and influence over the online left. I would totally be behind a video that really kind of champions authentic criticism of him, right? And there's definitely coherent criticism of him in Ethan's video, but I can't back that video, bro. I cannot back that video. Not least of which because of the deplatforming. Well, yeah, sorry, let's hear out this last little bit.
Billionaire with a history of funding.
Okay, sorry. This is the segment where he's basically saying Noah Samsen's making money off of this video, doing what he accuses H3 of doing, because H3 had ExpressVPN. Yeah, okay. I think that's fair. I'm not really a big sponsor hater.
And supporting the IDF. He's not a Zionist, though, apparently. Apparently he's not a Zionist, and he's pro-Palestine.
The irony of Noah sponsor shaming is insane. This is literally the same guy who has taken multiple better
Yeah, that's true. I don't like BetterHelp either.
seconds of your video are the most important part of it, and him putting money first tells you what his priorities are.
I don't criticizing Noah Samsen for fucking plugging his Patreon in the first 10 seconds. That to me is not worth mentioning. But yeah.
Oh shit, is that a sponsor link?
One tool I found helpful to compare these differences in this sort of coverage is Ground News, who are also...
I will not lie to you. This is probably the weakest argument, even if I kind of agree.
And if you can get the views, then you should get your bag too. I'm not here to try to cancel people for making money off their work, but what I will do is make fun of frauds like Noah, who pretend they have the moral high ground when they are doing the exact same thing they said is bad. Noah is clearly doing this for money, and I imagine that another reason that he stopped covering creator drama as much and shifted to Israel-Palestine is because he kept getting roasted and destroyed in every drama that he was involved in. I really don't think there's one drama that Noah has won.
I mean, okay, you can make that claim. It's your opinion. You're entitled to it. It's also possible that he just felt motivated to talk about Israel-Palestine. Yes, I've seen people say, like, he's only talking about it because it's relevant. It's like, okay, yeah, it's relevant, sure. But why is it relevant? Why is it relevant, you know? I could definitely see how someone would get motivated to make videos if they were remotely aware of what is happening, especially Gaza. But anyway, obviously, the West Bank is not in a great state either, but it's certainly not as bad as Gaza. Anyway.
Personally, I think there's going to be a few more consequences to losing this drama than there were for the other one.
Okay, yeah, you acknowledge that there's consequences to him entering this fray. I guess he probably assumes that these are consequences Noah didn't foresee type thing.
The most recent update from Ethan Klein was a live stream where he further emphasized that he was serious about this and won't be backing down legally.
Noah Samsen, me and Mudahar together teamed up, and we sent a demand for retraction to Noah Samsen Monday night after the show. And so, the ball is now in your court, sir. You have 20 days from the moment you received it to respond. What Hassan does, you guys are going to learn throughout all this, is that these are his attack dogs. He uses them.
I think there's a degree of truth to that.
To say the shit that he wouldn't say, to attack the people in ways that is...
It's definitely convenient for Hassan. Like, Hassan will weaponize their videos when they're convenient and then ignore them when they're not.
Obviously below the belt, that is unacceptable. And instead of having to say it himself, he rewards them by watching their entire videos. And it's basically as good as him saying it in that case, but he doesn't have any of the liability.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think Hassan is 100% using these people as a mouthpiece to say the stuff that he actually wants to say.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And in return, he gives them an audience and special privileges and protections at Twitch.
Protections at Twitch? Bad Empanada and Noah Samsen do not stream on Twitch.
He's sacrificing them so he doesn't get in trouble.
Oh, he's probably talking about fucking Denims and Mike from PA or whatever.
So personally for me, anytime Hassan signal boosts one of these sociopaths by reacting to their content, I'm going to assume that it's just
sociopath. Yeah, I guess with Bad Empanada, that's definitely fucking...
as good as him saying it. As for what to do now, all I have to say is that war is a complicated situation. Personally, I think there are very few wars that are done for just reasons, and almost all of them are about land and resources at the cost of innocent people's lives. Whatever excuse politicians give you, it's just that, an excuse.
Okay.
I would highly recommend people read a book called War is a Racket by Smedley Butler. It's a very short but enlightening read about war. I think that nonviolent and peaceful solutions are the best way to enact change. Violence should always be a last resort defensive option, particularly since all the asshole warmongers who love to take up powerful government positions want us to be violent because they make huge profits off of war. War is...
Yeah. This is... I can see what he's doing. This is totally like an attempt to be like apolitical, like against war, which is fair. But yeah, it does ring a little bit deaf. And he acknowledges he doesn't really know much of anything about the conflict at hand. But yeah, I mean, none of this is bad, really.
There's also a great excuse for those leaders to step all over American rights, like how the Fourth...
Facts. I mean, you see it now with Mahmoud Khalil, bro. You see it with a lot of people having the law weaponized against them, silence them.
The Amendment was destroyed after 9/11 and the war on terror that came after it.
Yeah, facts.
I think the only way to actually prevent wars is to teach people how to not get tricked by propagandistic, manipulative sociopaths like Noah.
What?
Get people to stop listening to race grifters because racism is a major enabler of war.
I agree with that.
And keep our major platforms in favor of free speech.
I agree with that. But I don't think that Ethan Klein's on the same wave as this guy.
So when people do evil things, real journalists can expose them.
Okay.
This is why I hate censorship and why fighting for the ability to say offensive words is an important battleground, because it's the same battleground that gives people the ability to criticize war or messed up things like COVID lockdowns. Tyrants will always try to increase public acceptance of censorship by going after the most offensive things first before they then try to censor people for saying that putting a dirty t-shirt over your face will not stop you from catching an airborne virus.
Dude, okay, this is the part that I wanted to get to, and it really confuses me because does he not see the contradiction that exists here with Ethan Klein suing Noah Samsen for defamation, which I highly doubt that Think Before You Sleep even understands what exactly the claims are that are being claimed to be defamatory, okay? Like if you go through the actual legal claims, basically. Okay, so there's two dimensions, right? There's the defamation lawsuit, which you could totally argue is an attack on free speech, right? Totally, you could argue that. But okay, if we're taking the frame that Noah committed a fucking crime, is I think his claim. Okay, but then there's also him saying that we should encourage our platforms to be pro-free speech. Bro, you realize that Ethan Klein literally is backing a fucking deplatforming campaign, right? Against Hassan. Just because, like, can we agree on that? Can we agree on that? That is and was the goal of Ethan's video? To say fuck Hassan, but also why does he have a platform? Let's remove him from that platform.
It's the same battleground that gives people the ability to criticize war or messed up things like COVID lockdowns. Tyrants will always try to increase public acceptance. This is why I hate censorship and why fighting for the ability to say offensive words is an important battleground, because it's the same battleground that gives people the ability to criticize war or messed up things like COVID lockdowns. Tyrants will always try to increase public acceptance of censorship by going after the most offensive things first, before they then try to censor people for saying that putting a dirty t-shirt over your face will not stop you from catching an airborne virus.
Right. Okay. I mean, I agree with that. It is kind of contradicted by the way he propped up Ethan, but I'm going to just take him at his word. You're pro-free speech. Respect.
Accurate information is the most important thing for a society, and it's why free speech is the First Amendment.
Okay. Accurate information is the reason why free speech is the First Amendment. Okay.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
God bless. I have temptation to watch the whole thing now, but I am pretty fucking tired, I won't lie. Those were the two parts that stood out to me as being kind of like either contradictions or just not fully coherent. See, it's so strange. Why is his audience, I'm not saying Think Before You Sleep supports this, but why is his audience, again, they're saying the fact that he still has a platform is outrageous. Dude, his fucking message at the end is literally contradicting that. Bro. Noah having Ethan, a Jew, posing as a Nazi salute in his thumbnail is so ridiculously insensitive, it's insane. Just call him a Zionist and now it's not offensive. Holy shit, he doubled down on it. So it is sincere. Dude, wake up. Think before you sleep. Open your fucking eyes. Seriously, bro. This is literally ripped from Ethan's own fucking thumbnail. How far is your head up your own ass, bro? That's amazing levels of, like, blindness. Bruh. Jesus Christ, if you're gonna accuse Noah of fucking anti-Semitism, at least have it be something coherent. God damn. That's fucking stupid. Dude, are people correcting that? Jesus fucking Christ. Holy fuck, is this the state that we're at, man? What the fuck? What? This is really the shit that just flies, bro. A fucking actual... Oh, okay, I'm gonna relax. Because it's, I guess it's not that big of a fucking deal, even though it's so stupid. I can't help but fixate on it. I do not think that Think Before You Sleep is an anti-Semite. That kind of audience might exist within his ranks, which, look, I have experienced that. When I made my Death of H3H3 video many years ago now, by literally no reason within my video or anything, a fuckload of anti-Semites like commented a lot on that video. And yeah, I mean, I have kind of taken steps to like make it clear, like, I think anti-Semitism, if you're an anti-Semite, unironically, you are a fucking idiot. The way that I put it, if we're intellectualizing it, is that it's an ideology usually based on resentment, right? It's a resentful ideology. To hate anybody based on just their fucking identity qualifiers often is resentment based, especially if it's an identity qualifier that they cannot control. Anyway, okay, sorry. I was just getting lost there for a bit. I'm kind of fascinated. I really like seeing what the general vibe is, like, I guess, within the commentary scene. I don't know if Think Before You Sleep would be considered like a commentary YouTuber. He is, absolutely. He is a commentator or whatever you'd say, but I don't know if he's, like, I guess, in the commentary drama sphere necessarily. He certainly dabbled. I think Ethan was valid in talking shit in the video, but it should be left there talking, not livelihood compromising. Well, here's the thing, like, Ethan has gone on record basically saying he's the champion of fair use and freedom of speech when he was sued for defamation about 3 or so years ago, right?
Me being a fair use champion, a free speech champion, this is basically them saying, fuck you, we're coming after you, this is spite. So, again, who's the victim here? I have never sued anybody in my life. Yeah, we love that precedent of someone, a YouTuber going to prison for fair use. They don't understand what they're actually fucking celebrating.
That is, in my head, that's hypocrisy, okay? There can be opinions given that they're not the same exact circumstances, but there's total shadows of similarity, okay? But yeah, man, right? Like, I was hoping in the Think Before You Sleep video that there would at least be a crumb of just lip service to, like, okay, Noah's a fucking dumbass, but at least, you know, he should be allowed to say this, right? But it seems like Think Before You Sleep believes that defamation is a crime, which I don't think it's considered a crime in California or whatever, and that this is basically just Noah reaping what he's sown. And then he goes on to talk about how we need freedom of speech so that we can criticize active wars, and that we shouldn't even censor the most extreme opinions effectively. That's a contradiction in my head, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not sure what Think Before You Sleep would say to that, but yeah, there's a contradiction there, I think. It does boggle my fucking mind that he's so eager to have one up on Noah that he thought Noah was maliciously making Ethan look like he is doing a Nazi salute when he literally is just taking Ethan's own thumbnail. That's brain rot, bro. Like, if that doesn't betray a bias, I don't know what would necessarily, okay? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's possible that Think Before You Sleep just didn't watch Ethan's video. That might be the case. In which case, why didn't you watch the video, bro? What the fuck? I think he did watch the video. I just don't know how you could have this oversight and have nobody calling it out. It kind of fucking confuses me, to be honest. Anyway, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It's not. I am maybe the fucked up one for fixating on that, but it definitely, I don't know. That to me seems just like weird. But yeah.
On YouTube for the past...
Oh shit, does he call what Noah did a crime?
Here's Noah saying Alex Jones should be killed. And finally, the thing...
Yeah, I don't like this. What does it say? Court has ruled that the victims' families will be permitted to kill Alex Jones in any way they please and then resurrect him somehow and kill him again. Okay. I mean, it's a joke, but yeah, you could say bad taste. I'm not really one to talk, but, you know, it is what it is.
Because hundreds of years ago, then the non-white conquered population has...
Fuck, where was this conversation about a crime, man?
For example, a part of Noah's video was about people rightfully complaining that Hassan has violated Twitch rules numerous times by doing things like promoting a terrorist organization, and he's only gotten a one-day ban for it, and only after Twitch started getting bad press. Yet, as...
To be clear, saying people should kill Rick Scott was why he got the one-day ban. I see.
Asmongold has a single moment where he said some bad stuff, and he got a 14-day ban.
Bruh, please play what Asmongold said.
In his video, Noah talks about this ban and shows a clip of Asmongold saying some messed up things.
Asmongold made some comments that explicitly justified Israel's genocide of Palestinians in Gaza.
I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. They come from an inferior culture. I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care. I don't support them.
Noah actually shows this moment in both the videos that he's being sued for. And I'll agree that this clip is pretty bad. If you only saw that, you would think that Asmongold is a horrible person. This is the obvious conclusion that anyone would come to if you don't know much else about him, which probably describes most of Noah's audience. There's one problem, though. Asmongold very famously apologized for these statements. Now, since
Okay. I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact that he said them, but I get what he's saying. He's saying he makes Asmongold look worse by not clarifying that Asmongold has apologized for them. I think Think Before You Sleep might want to cozy up to Asmongold a little bit. I don't really know if that was that worthy of a criticism, but maybe.
2 years ago, Noah boasted about his expertise in media literacy. I imagine that Noah didn't show Asmongold's apology so that his audience would believe that Asmon is evil.
Wasn't Asmongold the reason he brought up Asmongold was to show, what was it? It was like to show Mudahar's reaction to it, because Mudahar said it was a spicy take, effectively, or some shit like that. I honestly don't even want to debate in the weeds on this, but yeah, I guess Noah could have shown that Asmongold apologized for that. Where's the lawsuit mentioned? It's probably here.
White savior losers, man. It's like he's weaponizing his own religion against him, saying he's like a bad Muslim. That's the insinuation.
So basically...
Yeah, that's fucked up. I don't like people who do that.
Again, if you don't like Hassan and point out the double standards on Twitch, then you like it when innocent people die. Nice, Noah. You really stood up for your cash cow Hassan Piker. I'm sure he will happily continue boosting your views.
Hassan spent 2 hours watching this one. He spent 2 hours watching the first one on his stream in its entirety, glazing him up.
And again, let me further emphasize that outside of being an editor for Cody Co., Noah Samsen was literally a nobody on YouTube before Hassan Piker started reacting to all of his content and sending him followers. This is why he's glazing Hassan so hard here in this drama, and probably why he also joined the Israel-Palestine meta like all the other Hassan.
Whoa, bro. The Israel-Palestine meta? Bruh.
It seems like Noah has a really bad habit of accusing his enemies of supporting things they are openly in opposition to. Now, Ethan Klein isn't the only one suing Noah. In a really unfortunately cropped tweet, Mudahar has announced
as a genocide supporter. That's funny.
Now lawyers are getting involved.
And again, I'm not taking any prisoners. If my attorney thinks there's anything in here, if he thinks that there's like a decent shot of defamation, I'm suing this fucking piece of shit. It's a little scumbag. It's not a threat. You'll be hearing from us very soon, my friend. Start crowdfunding, start looking for an attorney. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fun.
And Ethan has every right to sue Noah for this. Maybe now one of these radical leftist influencers.
How the fuck do you know? Every right to sue Noah for this. Do you even know what he's being sued for? Like what the claims of defamation are? I mean, you're right, actually. I should say you're right that he has every right to sue Noah in the sense of, like, you can sue somebody for technically anything. But I'm assuming he's saying he has, like, valid grounds. Like, this is a legitimate case that he has, which how would you know? If you admit to not knowing anything about the conflict, and if you take a look, the defamation case against Noah from Ethan's camp, side, whatever you would say, the vast majority of the claims of defamation, it's like litigating the precise realities of claims in Ethan's videos, you know what I mean? It's not as clear-cut, I think, as Think Before You Sleep is presenting it as, okay?
And Ethan has every right to sue Noah for this.
Okay.
Maybe now one of these radical leftist influencers will actually suffer legal consequences for committing crimes. This is absolutely slander. Not only did Noah...
Oh, he's saying that they backed a genocide. Yeah, you could say that they didn't back a genocide, and I would totally understand why you would say that. But that's not the extent of what he's being sued for. I don't know, anyway.
Make this thumbnail straight up accusing Ethan of supporting people being murdered. Not only did he remove important context from multiple things in his video, but he also doubled down on it.
So he is threatening to sue me for defamation on the grounds that accusing someone of supporting genocide is messed up. I can think of something even more messed up than accusing someone of supporting genocide, which is, actually supporting genocide.
Noah actually has a history of making false accusations with his video titles and thumbnails. This is not a new behavior from him. Speaking of the Alienation drama, where a YouTuber I reacted to tried to get me a channel strike by telling her followers to mass flag me, last year,
remember this,
Noah used an intentionally deceptive title and thumbnail to
hey,
make people
I think this is the part that I am referenced in, dude.
think that I doxed Alienation in retaliation for the mass flagging campaign, when in reality, I in fact not only did not do that, but I openly told people to not attack her, even though she told her followers to attack me. Noah,
okay, that's good.
the lover of context and the hater of lies by omission, seemed to forget to inform people of the part where I very emphatically said in my video, hey, don't harass this person. And, of course, his title had the intended effect of making people believe I did something that I did not do.
True.
The title is Think Before You Dox, right?
Right.
And I read that title, and that's why I watched the video. I was like, damn, that's juicy. What the fuck? Think Before You Sleep dox this woman?
That was my understanding from the title. Yeah. That was my immediate conclusion. That's not what happened at all.
So many similarities here. It seems
That's true. Dude, that was the total impression that I got, for sure. And I definitely understand why Ethan doesn't like that there's a video with that title and that thumbnail. That makes sense. But yeah, I stand by, going toward litigation is the nerd emoji route. And hey, man, we'll see if that defamation case has legs. But again, reading the instances of defamation, I'm not a fucking professional, I'm not a lawyer, whatever, but I don't think it's as obvious as some people think it is. That's all I'll say. But anyway, it's quite disappointing. A complicated geopolitical conflict has taken center stage in YouTube drama. Dude, this is exactly what I was hoping wouldn't happen. This is exactly what I was worried about literally 4 or 5 months ago now, well before Ethan's content nuke. For those who don't know, I was kind of the one who gave Ethan the idea. That's a joke, but not fully. But anyway, point is, I was worried effectively, that this very real circumstance would get intertwined in the drama community, and that is just exactly what happened. And that's why when I was reacting to Ethan's content nuke video and Ethan was brutalizing certain historical recountings, I was actually genuinely so disappointed, man. I was actually pissed off. I was like, bro, why does it have to be for the sake of fucking interpersonal beefs, man? You see the contradiction. Think Before You Sleep designates what Noah did as deserving to be sued and as a crime, but then at the end of the video he says people should have the right to free speech. They should have, yes, he views what Noah did as a crime, and that Ethan has every right to sue him, and he pretty seemingly well backs Ethan's video, right? Reinforces it at least. And in that video, Ethan is basically overtly angling for the deplatforming of Hassan. And then at the end of the video, Think Before You Sleep is navigating the line of any censorship is bad. I'm pro free speech. These platforms shouldn't censor people, even the most extreme voices, because that's a slippery slope, which I agree with. But there's a contradiction there. Anyway, whatever. I'm trying to like understand the perspective, and I probably shouldn't be doing that live on a stream, but whatever. I don't know. You shouldn't be allowed to criticize anyone but harshly, but you should be allowed to say anything. But also, like, under his umbrella, it sounds like he would also be okay with people defaming others. I don't know. But yeah, give me your opinion. And as far as, you know, supporting your creators goes, all right, I don't have any sponsor, but we do have these brand new Hubert NPCs, okay? These physical items. It's a snow globe. There's no water in this one, but we are selling a limited supply of these. I also have a gold one. We have these NPCs that are custom made, okay? Very cool. And all you got to do is go to gokamerch.com, all right, and sign up for the email list. That's all you got to do. Once you're signed up to the email list, you will literally just be only notified when these are available, and yeah, from there you'll be in the loop, basically. You know what I mean? We also have, you know, some cool merch items, whatever. If you want to support your boy in my I mean, I've yet to cave to any gambling sponsorship offers, okay? I'll eat a banana if you ask me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's basically the best means to support me for those who are inquiring, okay? Buy my merch, gokamerch.com. All right, if you want to be involved in the community, if you're an artist, whatever, join my Discord. And if you want to watch a bunch of main channel content that has not been released yet, go to my Patreon, okay? patreon.com/Gokanaru. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, man, sign up for that damn email list, bro. These NPCs are fucking cool, and I hope that I can make money through making stuff instead of, you know, just taking on sponsors and not that I don't give a shit about, you know? We'll see what time reveals for me, but yeah, until next time, have a great week, okay? Mwah.